Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Recently a TikTok has gone very viral of a trans woman at a Sonic being allegedly discriminated against because she is transgender. And here on the Samantha Lux channel, we do not stand for discrimination of any kind, ever, especially on TikTok. However, there has been a lot of conversation about this video, about this incident. The Ben Shapiros and the other transphobes of the world are taking this and kind of using it to make fun of trans people. It's kind of like that situation. Remember that whole GameStop clip that went viral of the trans woman in GameStop being, called sir, and she was being aggressive, saying it's ma'am, it's ma'am. I know you all know the video. We don't have to get into that video. This video has created a situation similar to that one, and we need to figure out why. We need to look into it and see if it's warranted or not. I post new videos every single week here on my channel, so if you guys are not yet subscribed, go ahead and do that right now. I'll wait for you, go ahead. I just got a notification about Mr. Brian Laundrie. We gotta find you, sir. We gotta find you. Are you done? Thank you very much. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those different places to keep us up to date with me as possible. And also I do have a Patreon, so if you guys wanna donate, the link for that is down below as well. But no pressure, of course. But yeah, with no further ado, let's get right into this TikTok. Shall we? So now I should start out this video by saying that I obviously am a trans woman. So I probably am going to be a little bit biased in this, conversation. Whenever I see another trans woman get misgendered or treated badly, I just feel so strongly for them. I'm like, been there. I know how you're feeling. I know how that hurts the soul a little. So yeah, I'm going to do my best to, not let my bias play any part in this conversation, but I feel like that is necessary to say before we get into it. In the video, she's clearly obviously very upset, understandably so, but she did make some pretty intense claims. She called him aggressively transphobic. She says that they have discriminated against her for being a trans woman, not just, remain to her, but discriminated against her. A lot of people seem to think that the man in the video that was being recorded didn't really do anything wrong, and it was actually this trans woman that was a little out of line. But now before I continue talking about it, I feel like we should maybe watch the video. Should we do that? Okay, let's do it.
Why does it matter?
Oh, it doesn't matter to you. But to me, I'm a male. Okay?
Okay.
So, what are you? So I can call you a sir or ma'am. What are you?
Okay, so I'm gonna pause really quickly. Now, the terminology maybe is not the best. He's basically saying, are you a dude or a girl? Like, are you a boy or a girl? Are you a man or a woman? In my opinion, if I were in this situation, I would have interpreted that. I mean, it's hard to say how I would have interpreted it, but looking at this, I kind of interpret that as him saying what are your pronouns? What do you want me to call you? You know what I mean? How should I address you? Whether or not that is an appropriate question to ask is a totally different conversation. Somebody came up to me and said, well, what are your pronouns? What do you want me to call you? I feel like I might be a little offended by it. It would kind of be upsetting to me. But also, there's also that cognitive dissonance of understanding that a woman can look like anything. And even though I do look like this, that doesn't mean that I am a binary woman. Doesn't mean that I'm a binary trans woman. And it doesn't mean that my pronouns are she and her. Does that make sense? Probably not, but that's just what's going on in my head right now. But that's kind of how I interpreted the first half of this viral TikTok, as him saying, okay, well, what do you want me to call you? What are your pronouns? You know what I mean? I didn't see that as something that was very aggressive or even transphobic, to be honest. But let's continue. Let's see what else happens.
What would you assume looking at me?
What are you?
What would you assume looking at me?
I assume that you're a man.
Okay, fair. Okay, got it. I understand now. I understand. See, here's the thing. As a trans woman, I understand. I know exactly what's going through this person's mind when they're saying, what would you assume when you look at me? You know what I mean? What do you think? It can be so frustrating when, you put so much effort and you try so hard to be recognized as the gender that you are. And then for somebody to just be like, well, I don't see it. Obviously you don't look like a woman. That's so hurtful. You can very easily understand how in this situation, this trans woman's probably very flustered. She's probably very, full of adrenaline, whatever. So I can understand why she reacted, the way that she did, saying, what do you think? What do you think? Look at me, what do you think? Was this quote unquote aggressively transphobic? Was this discriminatory? I don't think it was. And of course, that is just my opinion. I don't want to speak and be like, that wasn't discrimination. How dare you be upset? That's not my place. In my personal opinion, it's just, I don't know, man. If someone's asking you, what are your pronouns? What do you want me to call you? Just say, she, her. I'm a woman. You know what I mean? you're just asking to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like you get what you fucking ask for at that point. It's so easy for us to be like, well, this person should know better. You know what I mean? This person has had every opportunity to educate themselves and to be a better ally to trans people. And, you know, it's their fault. They should know better at this point. And I do agree with that to an extent, but at the same time, we have to understand that not everybody is in the same, you know, place as us, especially as people that watch, you know, my channel. Like, I'm a trans woman. I talk about LGBT things all the time. We're very much in this conversation. We very much try to be knowledgeable about all these things, but we can't be mad when that isn't the case for everybody else. You know, everybody has their own lives going on. Everybody has their own little thing that they like to watch on YouTube, their own little things that they like to be educated about. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, there has to be a little bit of leeway. There has to be a little bit of space to allow people to grow and allow people to change and allow them to be respectful, even if they don't come into that situation with all the knowledge that, you know, they might need. It is no trans person's job or responsibility or, you know, duty, whatever word you want to say, to educate cisgender people. That's not what I'm saying. Don't think it's the most helpful to do things like this, where when somebody is very clearly trying to do their best to address you in a way that you prefer, for you to record them and then post it online and say that they are being aggressively transphobic and discriminating against you because they don't know any better, or, you know, they don't have the right terminology or something like that. In my opinion, this does nothing more than divide people and to separate people and to make people pick sides, when in reality, it's not about picking sides. It's just about, you know, gaining as much knowledge as we can and being, you know, the best people that we can. Nobody really knows what happened in this situation. Maybe this person did come out and say, hey, and started throwing slurs at them and started purposely misgendering them and all this stuff. And if that happened, of course, that would be aggressively transphobic. That would be something that would, you know, possibly permit these TikToks for somebody to just be like, what do you want me to call you? Are you a sir or a ma'am? Like, what are your pronouns? How would you prefer I speak to you? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit much. This trans woman did post some other TikToks talking about the situation and talking about, you know, just their perception of it, I guess. I might insert some clips of it just to give you guys, you know, the gist of it, but we don't have to watch the whole thing. However, there are a couple points in this that I do want to, you know, point out and talk about a little. She opens these following TikToks by saying, as a trans woman, I should not have to do anything other than say my name and say my pronouns to be affirmed as the gender that I am. And I agree. I 100% agree. You shouldn't have to give somebody some explanation or some long lecture or anything like that to be respected for who you are. You know what I mean? It's just simply not their business. If they don't understand something, if they have questions, blah, 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 they can Google it. Google, great invention. She highlights that, you know, not everybody has access to get their IDs changed and to get their name changed. These things are not only incredibly tedious to do, they also take a very, very long time to be processed, and they also cost money. So I fully agree when she says that, you know, you shouldn't have to have the name on your credit card changed to be addressed as a woman or to be called the name that you want or to have the pronouns that you prefer used for you. I 100% agree with that. However, she didn't do that in the video. She says I shouldn't have to say anything more than my name and my pronouns to be affirmed as the gender I am. But when we watch the video, she says, well, what do you assume? What do you think that I am? Kind of pulls it out of this man. I shouldn't have to say anything more than my pronouns and my name. You don't. But like, you do, like, say it. She also talks about how the situation would have gone over differently if she was more passable. She says that we have to look a certain way to earn respect from cisgender people, and I think that there is some truth to that. However, in this situation, again, I feel like this man was very willing to be respectful of this trans woman's gender identity. He just literally did not know. And something else that she said in this video that I think, you know, might be a little bit beneficial is having corporate education on how to treat trans people. I don't think it's as important in like fast food service, like at a Sonic or a McDonald's, as it is in like healthcare settings where trans people's lives are at stake. But, you know, there is something to be said. Navigating life as a trans person or a minority in general is really, really hard. And I do think that those people that do not experience those hardships that those minorities face should do their best to, you know, foster a safe and inclusive and educated environment for all those minorities. But if that were to happen, we're gonna need to allow a lot more space for people to question things and a lot more space for people to grow and learn. But again, I really just don't think this man was being that bad to this woman. Am I missing something? She says that we need to fight for this education about trans people, but she refuses to answer this simple question to educate this man who is trying very hard to understand this woman's identity and to treat her with respect. I don't know, you guys, it's a really weird situation. You know, there's a lot happening. There's a lot that we don't know, a lot that we have to kind of speculate on. I do genuinely feel bad that this woman had such, you know, an upsetting experience, and for the transphobia and stuff like that in their comment sections. That's disgusting. You know, there's no space for any of that. Hopefully I don't actually have to clarify this, but I'm not talking about questions about, you know, what's in your pants or what your old name used to be or anything like that, but like your pronouns. I feel like, you know, just say your pronouns. Anyways, everyone, what do you all think? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up down below. Make sure to subscribe if you are not already and you would like to be. I post new videos every single week here on my channel. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm going to go. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye, everyone.